we were saying how this beach is perfect. I think it's on the maybe top 3 of the best beaches I've ever seen because it's quiet, and I hope it will stay like that. So maybe we won't tag the name of this beach. And yeah, the water is very clear and warm.
So warm.
The sand is very white and golden.
I don't love the sand, but it's just
because you can't stop to get it in your
everywhere.
Towel, everywhere.
And there's also a little beach bar too. So yeah, I mean, perfect. There's just no crowds. You have your privacy. It's clean, pristine. What else can you want?
Hi everybody, we are in Kaohsiung. We came yesterday biking 50 kilometers from Tainan.
So the ride to Kaohsiung from Tainan is not so far. It's only about 50 kilometers or so. We are not going on the beach though. We're going kind of inland, so maybe not as nice of a ride, but we will be seeing beaches soon in Kaohsiung and in the east of the country, so we're happy to wait for those. This is a waypoint actually. Okay, so we are in the Tardi. Did I say Tardi Hill Natural Park on the way to Kaohsiung. This was just suggested on the Matthew Bikes commute path itinerary, and we stumbled upon it quite randomly. But now here we are on a suspension bridge, which reminds me of Penang a little bit.
There was a suspension there, right?
Yeah, we'll put a link. I think the nature reminds me of it though. And this is the first suspension bridge where there's like, I've found stairs on it actually, because there's a bit of an incline. What does that remind you of?
The Shilling Forest in Kunming.
Yes, minus the swaths of tourists. Maybe not as impressive, but still quite cool.
Did you enjoy the Tardi Hill Natural Park?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, the suspension bridge was cool, and then you could see a little bit of the karst rock. Maybe not like uber essential to visit, but it was pretty.
It was pretty, and it was also used for military operation.
Well, like people would hide.
During the Japanese era, yeah, so indeed we saw some bunkers in it.
Yeah, true.
Never sweat as much in my life as last week, as you can see from my face. And I was wondering, why are we the only people biking in this country? I really haven't seen anyone cycling.
We haven't come across people since like the first 2 days, I think.
Yeah, really? On a bike?
Might also be because we're a little bit off the route now, but...
Tell us in the comments what you think about this.
Apparently it's high season. Onward we go. I keep having this thought, like, are we ready for Tour de France yet? I feel like we're getting there. One thing I love about doing this bike trip is every time you make eye contact with someone on a scooter, assuming you could see their eyes, a lot of times they cover their faces because it's sunny and dusty. But assuming you can see their eyes, they make eye contact, they give a little smile, and they give it like a little head nod as well to just say hello, you know? There's really nice people on the streets. So innocently led into this world, and to be eaten. We've encountered a gang of scooters. This house, Stop and Go It, is in the cities. You bike like a few meters and there's a light, and then another few meters and then there's a light. Highways and cars, cars and highways.
And then, finally,
So Kaohsiung, super green, lots of temples, lots of water, lots of space for people to just walk and chill. It's really cute.
We made it to Kaohsiung. The part right before of the city was pretty, but the last part with all the traffic of, I don't know, 5-6 p.m. it wasn't such pleasant. And also it's disappointing when people don't know how to drive and they cut your street, and not seeing enough bikes on the street is also very disappointing.
Our windowless hotel room. That's the view. This is a common thing here we're noticing in Taiwan, that windows do not come in the room. You have to pay extra for those.
The sign, the marks
Yeah.
of the backpack. And now it's finally time we can get some rest.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are on our way to breakfast. Weirdly, our hotel gave up on breakfast and gave us some vouchers, which are worth like nothing. So let's see what we could do with
100 Taiwanese dollars.
Yeah. 50 a person per day. So let's see what we can do with these. The place we're going to is a traditional Taiwanese breakfast. And we're excited to be in Kaohsiung, right?
Yes. Okay, good appetit. The food is not very. It's basically gyoza and fried eggs and other eggs with dough with some greens. But we spent $206 Taiwanese dollars, and our voucher was for 200. So we spent only $6 basically.
Later that afternoon.
We are in Kaohsiung. We came yesterday biking 50 kilometers from Tainan.
Not such a bad bike this time.
Yeah. And we're exactly at the Pier-2, which was a warehouse, a Japanese warehouse before. It was used to store sugar and what else?
And then exporting sugar, basically. Went derelict for quite a few years, and now it's been revitalized into an art center and just public area. It's very, very cool. We're getting here a little bit late for the sunset, but it's gonna be fun. So let's go check it out.
So being here, seeing this art, brings back to memory that I worked in 2011 for a collateral event of the Biennale Art in Venice, and it was called Future Past. It was about art from Taiwan and generally like Asian art. The underline was like from Asia to the world. And it was very interesting. It was a very memorable exhibition. I still have the book of it, and I really like the pieces because it was a lot inspired of generally Asian art and also a lot of manga style stuff. One of the curators was this woman, Victoria Liu. I guess she's very famous in Taiwan, or quite famous, I bet. And she had a lot of personality. She was an over-the-top person, definitely.
Yeah, this is really cool, this area. It just has one of those good feng shuis. Unlike this tower over here. If you look behind me, there's the Sky 85 building, which basically is kind of unoperational now. There might be a few hotels on the first few floors, but they've closed down a lot of it because apparently the developer developed it without feng shui in mind. So it's a little bit hard to do business.
It's a bit cursed. And also, it is said that it reminds the shape of a tombstone.
Yeah, and also this was the same person who built the Taipei 101 in Taipei. So adding interesting tall buildings to the Taiwanese landscape, but apparently this one hasn't gone down well so far.
Yeah, apparently it's half empty. And yeah, it said the whole area is not doing that well from what we read.
We want to go explore though.
I'm waiting that the kid goes away and then I can point that thing between the legs with a head, let's say a cock head. Very interesting. they basically forced us in this exhibition, which seems very interesting, but we are missing the last moment of sunset because we are here. So, of all the places we've seen in Taiwan so far, I was thinking I could definitely spend more time here.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we decided to do this bike trip, I was thinking we could come here and stay for like a month, just because it really has a good vibe. It's smaller, it's not as well known, but like the art scene's really cool and we like that. So yeah, for sure.
It's more southern, it's a port city.
You're closer to the beaches.
I really like that.
Yeah.
We're closer to the beaches. We are like on the coast. And we weren't on the coast in the previous biggest cities we've seen. So let's do it. Maybe we stay here, we don't move.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I don't
End
think
of
we
the
have
bike
the
trip.
Huan Dao.
We did get the 444. Basically, we were at the restaurant today and the bill came up and it was 444. And the woman was like, that's bad luck. Or I said, that's bad luck. And she was like, yeah, that's really, really bad.
Yeah, because the number 4 in Chinese culture, it means bad luck.
Yeah, it means
But we
death,
had 3 number 4, so not 4, 4. So
yeah, so
I think it's
the point of that is maybe we shouldn't move and we need
should
to stay put. Yeah,
interpret it as a good sign because it was only 3, 4.
I don't know about that.
If you didn't know yet, Kaohsiung is such a cool place. Why?
Whenever I think of Kaohsiung, I think of this saying, like, Kaohsiung is such a cool place because back when I was here, I did quite a few like little videos, like stupid collaborations, because I was really into it at the time. And anyway, we had to create these English word idiom videos. And it would be like food coma, beat around the bush, things like this. And one of the guys who was in the video had to say, Kaohsiung is such a cool place. And he said it in a weird way. Look at this.
And it is. Look at this.
This isn't going in the video.
How cute.
Which means how cute, actually. How kawaii.
So yeah, some warehouses are empty. Some are used for commercial reasons. So it's not all art gallery. But the area is really interesting. And also this view that we have in front of us.
Yeah. You could be in like the most cool place in the world, like these warehouses, and you'll always hear in the distance someone singing karaoke really off. And I don't even know how far they are. I think they're across the river, but it's just changing the ambiance completely. Very interesting installation. Very Home Alone music soundtrack. Wow.
Bravo!
Echo Across the Harbor is a musical installation of 38 bronze bells that play 72 melodies, reviving the lost maritime sounds of the old port.
This city also reminds me Rotterdam. The Blair Witch Project. Part 2. Oh no, they did that already. Because it's very artsy and it's also like a big port city. We haven't been there.
No, we haven't been to
together.
Rotterdam.
Yes.
I haven't been anywhere.
Good.
So you may notice in our last video in Tainan, we had beef noodle there and it was a bougie place. Now we're at another place where there's actually a challenge you can take. They have a big bowl of beef noodle soup and you have 30 minutes to eat it. The bowl is actually over there. And I suppose if you eat it, it's free. Otherwise you pay 999 Taiwanese dollars. And if you beat the world record here, then you get $5,000 back. So I think the world record is 12 minutes and 45 seconds or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, we're not trying it.
The lady who owns this place is so proud of the competition they run, and she just offered us an extra dish because she saw us talking about it.
In delaying the inevitable, but the wheel, unfortunately, as much as we pump it, it will still go down every single night. So we think that it's probably popped. So we're gonna figure out how to switch this. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're still in Kaohsiung. We just had breakfast and we're now hiking up the Shoushan hiking trail, which is famous because there are
Monkeys. A rare type of monkeys, which you can find only here. I haven't read anything about it, but I think it's one type of macaques monkey. We saw already few in front of the toilet.
And
they look cute and hairy, and their hair are
and there should be more and more
light brown.
Sure. And there should be more and more as we hike up here. We should ever make video when we're going upstairs. We're surrounded by monkeys. Reminds me of when where did we go? North Bali, when we were biking on the street and there was just monkeys everywhere.
Someone's bring fresh free water here. So smart.
We made it to the Yazuo Pavilion. It's really nice because you have a bunch of people just coexisting alongside the monkeys. The monkeys are doing their thing. The people are doing their thing, drinking tea, chatting.
What a community.
Yeah.
So Taiwan has different type of climate, which varies between the tropical and the polar on top of the mountain. So it's like tropical, different types of tropical, temperate, and polar. And this is because it lies across the Tropic of Cancer and is one of the tallest islands in the world.
Yeah, we actually passed the Tropic of Cancer on our way from Taichung to Chiayi. I guess we had taken the train at that point, so we missed it, but go watch that video.
I like that they have tea everywhere.
Perfect.
Which one is the wood tea? There, down there.
Okay, so we saw actually some monkeys eating a fig before, and it turns out it's this fig that I've heard of, which is not a vegetarian fig. You're not allowed to eat it if you're a vegetarian, but most figs are not like this. But basically, there's a symbiosis between the fig and the wasp. It's not like your typical kind of wasp. It doesn't look as scary, but basically the wasp will go inside for a little snack, and because it gets stuck in there, it actually ends up dying. But what it does is it pollinates it at the same time. So it allows the fig to keep on doing its thing and growing. And the monkeys seem to really, really like it. Probably also because there's that extra protein inside.
It's not so easy to walk down because it's very rocky. It's also called Rock Mountain. And what's the plan for today?
Okay, so it's time to get out of Kaohsiung. Oh, maybe we don't go this way. Yeah, fuck that. I thought there was a shortcut, but it requires like mountaineering skills, apparently. So we are getting out of Kaohsiung. It's time to leave the cities. We've done a lot of cities, and we're headed to Fangliao by train, which is another city. It's probably the furthest south you can go by train. And then from there, we're going to get on our bikes again. And the idea is to bike down to Kenting, which is the beachy area. There's surfing. It's a bit more chill. So that's where we're gonna go. And yeah, are you excited?
I'm very excited to leave the cities behind.
Yes.
I really liked this one. This was my favorite so far. But yeah, I'm also ready for some chill time.
Me too, me too.
My locally.
I think you can. Yeah. Because they have the bentos.
After a short train ride from Kaohsiung, we made it to Fangliao. Yeah.
And it's a really sleepy town, one of the sleepier towns we've been to, because we're getting closer to the south, which is sleepy surf villages.
Anyway, that was already quite a lot about the southeast. You'll have to wait for the next video to discover that idyllic beach. Thanks so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified about our next adventures. Also, leave a like and a comment, it really helps us keep going. Ciao!